Hey everybody, I am here again for a What Am I Reading video, and I've actually finished some things. That was because I went home to Alexandria, basically right outside of DC, to visit my family, and so I didn't really have anything planned. Usually when I go home, it's just, I've got nothing. There's no work to go to, there's no animals to take care of, no errands to run generally. So I'm like, it's just, as soon as I get there until I leave, I'm not really doing anything. My whole day is free. So I was able to get a lot of reading done. Not as much as I would have liked, but I was able to do a bit. But one of the things that was actually really fun that I got to do was I got to hang out with my author friend, Taylor Morris, who has written some standalone books like BFF Breakup and as well as the Hello Gorgeous series, and she was also the ghostwriter, I guess, for the Giada De Laurentiis picture books that came out recently. And so I absolutely love hanging out with her. She moved to Alexandria about a year ago, and which was really nice because I love hanging out with her. And she used to live in New York, and then she moved down to Norfolk, Williamsburg area in Virginia as well. But that's several hours away from me. And I don't normally go there, whereas I go to Alexandria all the time because that's where I'm from and that's where my family is. So it was nice when she actually moved there, and because now basically whenever I'm home we get to hang out. And but we hadn't seen each other since I think March or something, maybe even earlier than that. And so it was really fun. We met up for lunch and at a wonderful little place in Old Town Alexandria, and we got to kind of talk shop and stuff like that, which is simply fantastic because I usually don't get to talk to people about reading or writing or publishing in person generally. And so it's really fun being able to talk to somebody about that sort of stuff, and not having to explain a bunch of stuff. So so that's really fun. So I really enjoy doing that, and it's fun being with her. But aside, that was really the only thing that I actually had to do. And so I got to finish 2 books, and one of them was in eGalley on my computer, just like the movies by Fiore, and I really enjoyed it. It was a really cute read. I basically read it all in one evening because my eGalley had expired, but if I leave the program open, it and I'm actually in the file, it's stays on my computer and I can read it. But my computer had just finished installing some stuff, and it was like, hey, I want to restart, and I'm like, not yet, because I haven't finished this book. And so I was only able to postpone it every 4 hours, and eventually I was going to sleep. So unfortunately, not unfortunately, but so I had to read it all in one night and just kind of scroll through it and read it quickly. So it was a really fun, cute read though, and I really enjoyed it. And so it was just, it was a really, really good book, and it was very interesting and an intriguing concept. So there was that. And I don't know if I actually have talked about the book I read before that, Bleed Like Me by Desir. I talked about it, about the male love interest, in my last video, but I finished reading the book, and I thought that she did a really good job actually of writing his character, just because you do kind of have to, you do feel that way about him, is that this is a character who has very real flaws, and has some things wrong with him, I guess. But at the same time, you do have to, there are some, good parts to him, and you can see why somebody like Gannon would fall in love with him. And so it's a very, very, very good book, and I highly recommend that you guys check it out when it comes out next month. And I think the release date is October 7th. But it was extremely good, and I would definitely get on that. So I read that, and then Just Like the Movies, and I'm getting ready to start Made for You by Melissa Marr on my computer, and I'm hoping to get to that fairly soon, but I'm kind of focusing on some other stuff right now. My physical book that I'm reading, which is Evil Librarian by Michelle Knudsen, which I believe I showed up last week. And I actually have the blog tour. My stop is tomorrow, but I'm only like halfway through the book. So I kind of need to finish reading it so that I can post my review along with the interview that I have with Michelle. So look for that tomorrow, and I'm going to be trying to, furiously finish this. And I am actually really enjoying it. It's kind of in a similar vein to Team Human by Sarah Rees Brennan and Justine Labrelestier, which dealt with vampires and but it was like a funny book about vampires and how you should stay away from them and not get into relationships with them. It's kind of pretty much the same thing with this, except it's demons instead. So it's a funny book, and it's a similar sort of thing. So I am really enjoying it, and I believe it's out in stores now. So so check out my review tomorrow and go get it for yourself. Okay. And then the book that I did actually finish while I was home is Taking the Lead by Derek Hough, which I don't remember asking HarperCollins for, so I think I just got it randomly, but because I don't have any email where I ask about it or anything, so I'm not entirely sure. But either way, I'm happy it showed up. And I really enjoyed it. First off, I think he's very sexy, so there's that. And but he is, I do really like him on Dancing with the Stars. He's very funny. He's, he just seems like such a great guy. And so I was really interested to read a book from him. And it's kind of like a memoir / self-help book. And the reason I say this is that, obviously he talks about his experiences, so that's the memoir part of it. And he talks about his life and, that sort of thing. But at the end of every single chapter, there is sort of like life lessons or like a lessons learned sort of thing. And which I thought was really interesting. And it's something that I generally don't see in memoirs, and so that's what I really liked about that, is that, you get something and then it's like, this is what I learned from this experience, and this is what, you should try and do, and da-da-da-da-da. So that was really nice, and it is a really short book, actually. It's less than 200 pages. Goodreads says it's 256. That is a lie. It's actually like 194 pages, so it is quite expensive for such a short read, but what can you do? So I would suggest, unless you love Derek so much, getting it from the library and reading it that way. But or maybe buying the ebook, because the ebook's probably much cheaper. But anyway, and so I really did enjoy this book, and it was a fairly quick read. So there's that, and then I'm honestly not sure what I'm going to be reading next. I did take 2 books out of the library. The 8th book in the Infinity Ring series, Eternity, which I'm excited to read, and The Swift Boys and Me by Cody Keplinger. So I'm going to try and get to those, but we will see if I do, because I checked out 4 books like a month ago from the library and had to return them without actually reading them because I was too busy reading other things. So, yeah. And that tends to happen a lot. So, but I'm going to try it, because both of them, Eternity is definitely pretty short. It's less than 200 pages as well, and a smaller size book too. So, that should be a little bit easier to read. And The Swift Boys and Me is a middle grade novel, and I think it's kind of got fairly large print and maybe double spacing. So, so that shouldn't be too hard to read either. So we'll see what happens, but I'm excited to see what I'm going to read next and finish up Evil Librarian. And I will see you all next week with another video. And let me know what you're reading in the comments below. And, if you've read any of the books that I'm talking about, let me know what you think about, what you thought about those. And because I love getting comments and I love replying to comments. So go ahead and leave a comment. And if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe. And I will see you all later.